Clay, you've been asked to speak at the Business Game Changer event, Success Without Limits. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And tell us a little bit about your background and why and how you've gotten to where you are.
How much time do we have?
All we need.
Okay. Well, I was born, no. I've been in sales basically all my life. And I had a mother that thought it was important for me to learn how to sell.
Really?
So when I was 11 years old, she said, Clay, we need to get you out. We need to get you among people. You need to learn how to sell. Because no matter what you do, you have to sell.
That's true.
So she said, I'm going to teach you something.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And this'll help you more than anything. It's how to meet people.
Uh-huh.
And she said, when you first go out, make sure you get eye contact,
Uh-huh.
and then smile,
Uh-huh.
and then put out your hand,
Uh-huh.
and then say, hi, my name's Clay.
Uh-huh.
What's yours?
My name's Kevin.
Kevin.
Uh-huh.
What do you do?
Well, right now I'm interviewing
And we're
you.
in a discussion. Okay? So she taught me that little
Uh-huh.
sequence,
Uh-huh.
and I can't think of anything that has brought me more success
Really?
than that,
Uh-huh.
because it starts everything.
Sure.
So she bought me a box of cards,
Uh-huh.
and for the back of Boy's Life,
Sure, sure.
and she bought me a little suit and a tie, and put me out on the street.
Okay.
And didn't go with me.
Uh-huh.
She just said, "You take those. I want you to sell all those cards."
Uh-huh.
And I did.
Uh-huh.
It took me several weeks,
Sure.
but I had fun,
Uh-huh.
and I thought, well, this is enjoyable. And I also spent time doing other things as I grew up.
Sure.
But I went on a mission
Uh-huh.
and spent 2 years trying to sell an anthropomorphic god to a pantheistic society in
Right.
Japan.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I learned a lot about rejection,
I'll bet you
and that
did.
was good. And I learned to love people,
Yeah.
which is incredibly important in
Oh
sales.
yeah.
And when I got back, I've been in sales ever since.
There you go.
Real estate, storm doors and windows. In 1985, I was finishing up school and I got a job at a telemarketing company.
Uh-huh.
Now, telemarketing at the time was very sexy.
Yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
was the internet of the time.
That's
See, up
right.
to that point, direct marketing was all mail.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now they were mixing telemarketing into it.
Sure.
I walked in there and I'd had several years of sales background and had done pretty well.
Sure.
But I started to just do the math
Uh-huh.
that they had 160 stations of people making about 8 sales a day,
Right.
about $600 a sale.
Oh yeah. A lot of
They
numbers.
had 2 shifts of those,
Uh-huh.
and the computers and everything that we were using, and I'm going, wow.
Yeah.
This takes it to a whole new level.
Sure.
So I really applied myself, and
Uh-huh.
within a couple weeks, I was made a supervisor over 10 people.
Uh-huh.
And I just said, okay, I'm going to master this job.
Sure.
And so I had these 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
They were all young ladies
Uh-huh.
between 17 and maybe 21.
I'll bet
Never-
that broke your heart.
It did. Well, I broke their heart. No, just kidding. Actually, I had just met my wife,
Oh, huh?
to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a problem.
Oh, okay, good.
And so we were, and they never sold. They'd
Uh-huh.
never sold.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why they got hired,
Yeah.
but they were there. So I trained them.
Uh-huh.
And you know how I trained them? We had a monitoring phone on the desk. They had handsets.
Uh-huh.
So when they were making the calls, they would be talking.
Right.
I had a monitoring phone that I would listen to.
Sure.
And I've always been able to have, I don't know why, an instinct
Uh-huh.
for the timing of sales.
Right.
Okay? And so I would be whispering in their other ear the timing of what to say and the objections and those kind of things. And I realized that monitoring these calls, I was learning what the rhythm of this particular sale was.
Sure.
And I was able to teach that to them. And once they got the feel,
Uh-huh.
a couple of times, me telling them what to say, when to say it,
Right.
how to overcome the objection,
Right.
how to time it and everything, they didn't need me anymore.
Sure.
So we were the best group. And it wasn't long before I was managing the entire 160 station project.
Sure.
And then they asked me to open an outbound call center, again, focused on selling.
Right.
And so I stayed in the call center arena for quite a while.
Yeah.
And finally ended up bringing in large outbound sales accounts for major companies. And one day I went out on my own, decided to open up my own call center. Man. I thought, I know how to sell.
Sure.
I know how to sell this stuff.
Sure.
I'll sell.
Yeah.
And so I opened up a little call center, had about 10 stations, hired the people,
Sure.
brought in the accounts. Dude, in 90 days, I'd lost everything. People would ask me, so Clay, how's your business going? And I said, great. If it wasn't for clients that didn't pay and employees that don't work,
That's right.
I'd be doing great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I decided I can't keep going with these expenses.
Right.
So I cut back to a single office and did consulting instead, helping people start their own call center.
Right.
And that worked out a lot better
Right.
and helped me get back on my feet. Just after that, I read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
Sure.
And when I read it, I threw it across the room. I was so mad. Where was this book
When I needed it.
when I needed it? Because it detailed the mistakes that I had made.
Sure.
I forgot to take into account all the people that were screening the credit of the accounts that I would bring in
Right.
to make sure they would pay. That would have come in handy.
Sure.
All of the background people that go
Right.
into a company that
Right.
were
Yeah.
helping me be successful.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at those things.
Yeah. Well, this is a very common thing with,
Yeah.
with salespeople that go out on their own. They don't understand a business.
Yeah,
They understand how to sell, but they don't understand the rest of the business.
right. For the time thinking that there were people that would come out of like an Excel class and they would say things like, you know, what I learned today is going to save me probably 8 hours a week.
Wow.
And I thought, and that's just a simple Excel class.
Sure, sure.
I mean, let alone something that would change their income from, flipping burgers at McDonald's. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's a good place to
But
start.
to being a programmer
Sure.
and making over $100,000 a year.
Sure.
What kind of change does that make in
Oh
life?
yeah, sure.
And so I decided at one point to leave and create my own company of training. I had done a lot with networking. It had always been a skill of mine. And I started to teach people. And at this point, I was working chambers of commerce very well.
Sure.
And I put together some programs on how to network and to sell through building relationships.
Right. Totally.
We took it from about 300,000 to a little over 3 million.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I was with that company, ended up being their vice president of sales and business development.
Sure.
Back to those people who are experts at what they do.
Sure.
They're very good. They got into business for themselves because they have an expertise and
Right.
they know they're good at it.
Right.
They just don't have a sales background.
Right.
And they don't know how to sell at 100%.
Right.
They don't know the systems
Yeah.
to put to bear. They don't know the processes that can help make it automatic and systematic. They don't know the dynamic of what to say, how to say it,
Right.
and how to push the buttons that keep the conversation open and proceeding toward agreement, commitment, and payment.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so that's what I've been doing. And I've just had so much fun helping them see a couple of things. Number one, when you're in business for yourself and you don't come from a sales background and you don't have anybody selling, only a particular part of your time can be spent selling okay.
Right.
And your business will never grow
Right.
if all you have is a part-time okay salesperson.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do with some of my business owners, for example, an auto mechanic, is really good at fixing cars. And so I'll ask him, how good are you at fixing cars on a scale of 1 to 10? Of course, I'm an 11.
Yeah, of course.
I've been at it 40 years. I know everything about cars.
Sure.
I'm ASE certified.
Yeah,
I've got all these machines.
Yeah.
yeah,
all that.
I'm good. I said, okay, on that same scale though,
Uh-huh.
how good are you at selling what you do?
Yeah.
4, 5.
2.
And I said, okay, now what difference would it make in your business if we could move you from a 4 or 5 in sales
Uh-huh.
to a 10?
Yeah.
What difference would it make in your business if you were as powerful in getting new customers as you are in serving them?
Yeah.
And their eyes light up.
Sure.
And I,
Well, that's perfect. So now, how will what you're going to deliver help them grow their business then directly? Because you've got 45, 50 minutes.
Mhm.
How are you going to help them have a nugget that they can walk away with?
Well, there's a couple of things. I'm going to change the paradigm of selling.
Okay.
Because most people think that the sales begins with the product.
Right.
A product has hardly anything to do
Sure.
with selling.
Uh-huh.
What it has to do with is the problem
Yeah.
that your customer has.
Okay.
And so I switch it on its head, you
Uh-huh.
see, but we're going to give them the steps
Uh-huh.
that they walk out of there. And I believe any one of those nuggets we give them could totally change the way they do business. Could take them from middle America,
Uh-huh.
middle income,
Uh-huh.
to upper income.
There you go. Who doesn't want that, right?
Sometimes it's just that one
Yeah.
thought that changes everything.
It does.
And there are going to be so many of those one thoughts in that day with our 8 presenters. It's a game changer.
Well, I think that's why we're calling it the Business Game Changer Success Without Limits event.
Yes.
I think that's the reason. So
I'm excited.
I am too. Any last thoughts quickly?
Boy, nothing happens without a sale.
That's for sure.
And we're going to make things happen.
All right. Clay, thanks for your time.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You betcha.